Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. Let's keep this review video spoiler free. So in the event that you have not read this book yet, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. If you have read this book and you're more curious about a spoiler version review video, I'm going to drop the link below in the description box. Go check out my channel. I usually tend to do spoiler free and spoiler reviews of all the books that I read. I also do book summaries. So if you ever find yourself in need of wanting a recap, check out my channel because I do have a lot of those. I will be uploading a summary video of Yumi and the Nightmare Painter in the very near future. So if you want to revisit the events of this book without having to re-listen to the audiobook or reread the book itself, then I got you covered. I will upload that to my channel in the very near future. Since we are keeping this spoiler free, I gotta be very vague because I feel like everything listed on Goodreads in the synopsis, it's a spoiler. Oh, and first, let me start with this. This is one of the 4 secret projects that came out by Brandon Sanderson in 2023. I have read all 4 of them, really loved all of them. This one ties for my #1 favorite. This one and The Frugal Wizard were absolutely my favorite. And then followed by Tress, and then lastly, I really did enjoy The Sunlit Man. It just simply wasn't my favorite Sanderson book. But Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, if you haven't heard about it, we have 2 characters that are from very different worlds. We have Yumi, who is in a land full of light and heat and gardens and spirits and meditation. And then on the flip side, we have Painter, who is in a world of perpetual darkness. He has a ton of technology in his world. Things are just very different. His world has nightmares, and part of Painter's job is to deal with those nightmares. So these 2 characters are very different from each other. They live in very different places, but they find themselves connected, and they have to work together to save their respective worlds from ruin. I'm going to stop there because anything more that I say may potentially be a spoiler. This for me was a 5-star book. I really enjoyed it. Now, I will say that it did take me a little bit of time to kind of get into the story. I want to say about chapter 7 or 8, I was in it. I was really enjoying it. But that first part of the book, I wasn't feeling wholly invested yet, but I got there pretty quickly. So Sanderson doesn't waste a whole lot of time, but I think it was normal for me to take time to acclimate to the new characters and the world, but it was well worth it. There are some twisty things going on in this book that I didn't anticipate. There are some fun reveals in the end where I go, "Ooh, I did not see that coming." I'm sure Sanderson hinted at it. He's a master of foreshadowing, but I still missed it. It was a true shock to me when I uncovered these things in the end. While Yumi and the Nightmare Painter is a cosmere novel, you don't have to have any prior knowledge of the cosmere before starting this. You will enjoy it with or without prior knowledge of any of the cosmere books. You don't need to feel obligated to read these before reading this. You can read it on its own entirely. You don't have to have any knowledge of Stormlight Archive. So this one is wonderful in that regard because you can truly read it whenever. Seriously. I really liked the characters in this book. I just felt like I really understood their motivations behind everything. Neither of these characters are perfect, but they're lovable nonetheless because you come to understand them. I feel like that's when an author does a really good job of explaining the reason why. A character can't just be a jerk because they're a jerk. It's like, okay, well, what is the reason for being a jerk? You understand them for why they are the way that they are. So Sanderson does a wonderful job of helping us readers get it, truly. I've heard readers say this before, and now I finally understand. Brandon Sanderson is not a romance author. He's not. He's really not a romance author. Not to say that romance is never present in his books. They are, but it is very subtle. You will not encounter any spice in his books. That's just not his style. That's not how he does it. Yumi the Nightmare Painter is the closest to romance that he has ever gotten. And yes, that's true. That's a true observation. I finally understand. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not a smutty book. So if you're wanting that, this is not the book for you. There are no spice scenes, but romance is huge in this novel. And with that being said, there are some major tropes. We have forced proximity. We have enemies to lovers. So if those are your jam, this book is absolutely for you. I've talked a lot already about our 2 main characters, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, whose name is also Nikero, but I also love the rest of the cast of characters. They're all very well done. I liked a lot of them. They were all very unique. They're all very fun. And the humor in this book, it didn't disappoint. Brandon Sanderson, he has a very humorous way of writing, and I've never read a novel of his that did not contain a lot of really nice humor. So this book is funny. It's not the funniest Brandon Sanderson book I've ever read, but it is definitely humorous, and I really enjoyed it. One thing that I really liked about this novel is I genuinely had no idea where it was going. I went into this one completely blind. Like, look, I have this special edition, and it says nothing on the back. Well, okay, it says something, but it gives nothing away. It says, "A person is more than their experiences, stacked up like stones. Our best moments are the foundations we use to reach for the sky." That's all I had going into this book. I did not consult Goodreads to look for a synopsis, which I'm super, super glad, because this was very, very fun to go in completely blind. And I would recommend that you do the same. Also, don't trust Goodreads synopsises. They spoil a lot and it's annoying. I went into this book knowing absolutely nothing, and it was really, really fun. As I was reading this book, I was like, Brandon, where are we going? What's going to happen? I truly have no idea. Like, why are these two people forced together? I don't know. I have no idea. Where are these people even from? So I had a lot of questions for the entire duration of the book. I had no idea where he was going, what he was going to do with the ending, but it all came together very, very nicely. He gave us a nice bow tie ending, which I really, really appreciate. Oh, so fun. I really, really love this book. Again, 5-star book, highly recommend it. If you have not read any Sanderson books, this might be a really good introduction to his work. I normally recommend like Warbreaker. Oh, Warbreaker has a special, very, very special place in my heart because this was my very, very first Brandon Sanderson book that I ever read. So I love it. I have a weird history with this book. When I first read it, it took me until like, I want to say the halfway point to become obsessed. I really wasn't feeling it because you know why? I was not a fantasy reader. I was a general fiction reader for most of my adult life. Fantasy, I didn't know that I liked it. So I went in very closed-minded. I was thinking, this is a ridiculous magic system. I don't get it. It's not believable. Well, yeah, because it's freaking fantasy. Duh. So that was on me. And once I finally accepted the world and the magic for what it was, oh my God, I loved it. To this day, this is one of my very favorite Brandon Sanderson books. Actually, no, one of my very favorite books of all time. I have read this book twice. Yeah. I love it. Anyways, I typically recommend Warbreaker for new readers who want to start getting into Brandon Sanderson's books, but Yumi the Nightmare Painter is a good option, a very, very good option. I also recommend Tress of the Emerald Sea because these stories, they're so well written and they don't inundate you with all these crazy magic systems with crazy rules and limitations. It's just a good story, good old-fashioned story. Gotta love it. If you have read Yumi the Nightmare Painter, you got to leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of it. And also, if you've read any other Brandon Sanderson books, talk to me about them because I almost read them all. There are very few left on my TBR that I have to get to. I've read most of his stuff and I loved almost all of them. So talk to me in the comments. And if you have yet to do so, don't forget to hit subscribe. I have a lot of content on Brandon Sanderson books. I have some summaries out there for you. I have spoiler-free and spoiler videos. So there might be something that you might find entertaining or helpful in some way. So I hope that you stick around. I think that's all I have for now. I hope that you give Brandon Sanderson a try if you haven't done so already. And if you've been holding off on reading Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, I hope I've convinced you to wait no more. Wait no longer. This one is so good. It's just shy of 500 pages. I want to say it's like 474, 75 pages. So it's a longer book, but man, it goes fast. Okay, I did take my time reading it because I was reading other books at the same time. But whenever I'd sit down and spend an hour on it, I'd go, oh my gosh, I just read a ton of pages. Super, super fun story. Likable characters. Wonderful plot. Wonderful artwork, by the way. Now, I can only speak to the special edition copy that I have because I did participate in the Kickstarter in 2023. The artwork is incredible, but I'm assuming that the other editions also have similar artwork available. Oh, it's phenomenal. Artwork, 10 out of 10. Story, characters, 10 out of 10. And I hope that you enjoyed it too. So if you're still with me, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I hope you're reading something great. I hope to catch you in another video. And until next time, I will catch you on the flip side.